a Venn diagram. One is family, one is business, the third is ownership. If me drawing it with my fingers didn't work for you, go to Sarah, S-A-R-A, B as in boy, Stern.com, and you can see a picture of it there. Or Google 3-circle model of the family business system. It will show up if you do that as well. If you draw that and put it on a piece of paper in front of you, and this was the advice I gave to this particular family business, and say, you can start by saying something like, Dad, if you're talking to your dad, who's the owner, right? Dad, as your kid, I'm worried about something that I think could hurt our family. And then you're pointing to the family circle. I would like to talk to you owner to owner about the ownership. And then you point to the ownership circle of our business. And then you point to the business, right? You actually make it crystal clear who's talking to who. So I would like to talk to you owner to owner about this business on behalf of the well-being of our family. So you're really getting clear about what your priorities are and who's talking to who. And then you're talking, for this particular situation, what we're talking about is making sure that that last bit of ownership is transitioning to the kids and not the stepmom, that that's the preference of the next generation. What is very easy to have happen in conversations like this is feelings get hurt. Well, don't you trust me? Don't you love my wife? Don't you want the best for me? Don't you want the best for her? And I don't know if you want the best for her or you trust him or not. That's kind of irrelevant. Hopefully you do trust your dad in this situation. Hopefully you do want the best for your stepmom. Maybe you don't trust your dad. Maybe you don't want the best for her. I don't need to be in your head about that. What I do want to be in your head about is what you're trying to accomplish is what's best for the business, because you believe what is best for the business will be best for the stepmom, and will be best for the dad, and will be best for you, and will be best for your siblings, and will be the best for your dad's grandchildren. I'm thinking about the specific situation in my head. What is best for the business will be best for them. And minimizing risk and minimizing disruption in the business when dad dies is what's best for the business, and then will be what's best for the family. What I have often found is current owners of businesses, especially first generation, but not only first generation, when you're fighting for what's best for the business, that makes sense. That is strategic and smart and wise. And that goes back to the first question from the call today, staying focused on what is best for the business. And that is what I'm talking about here, is managing the risk around ownership and death is better to do before death than after. And the reason I say that is grief and surprise are a toxic cocktail. When things don't get talked about before someone dies and there's a surprise after they die, there's the grief of the loss of your dad or your uncle or your brother or your spouse. You put that with surprise around the ownership of the thing that's paying the bills for the family. That is a toxic cocktail. You want all of that worked out before grief gets added to the mix. And so that can be a great argument for, I want to make sure this is clear. I want to make sure it's transparent. I want to make sure it's talked about before we're adding grief into this, because we're going to be really sad when you die, Dad, which, by the way, is no fun for anybody to talk about. That's the thing with working with family businesses. You end up talking about things that are rude to talk about. You have to talk about money. You have to talk about death. Sometimes you have to talk about politics. This is what you have to talk about. You got to talk about it to manage risk. As owners, your job is to manage risk. You're minimizing risk for the family and you're minimizing risk for the business. That's what you're always doing, while also trying to maximize opportunity for the family and for the business. Whew, okay, I went too fast. I went crazy. I hope I made sense. I hope that is helpful.